Let's cut across to the Parliament where the ruckus is continuing over S.I.R. just after it had been adjourned on our back.
करती हूँ कि आप अपनी अपनी सीट पर प्लीज बैठिए। सभा पटल पर रखे जाने वाले पत्र आइटम नंबर 2 डॉक्टर पी चंद्रशेखर जी।
Honorable Speaker, Madam, with your kind permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House the papers mentioned against my name at serial number 2 in today's revised list of business. Thank you.
आइटम नंबर 3 माननीय श्री सतीश चंद्र दुबे जी।
आदरणीय उपाध्यक्ष महोदय, आपकी अनुमति से आगे संशोधित कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मेरे नाम के सामने क्रमांक संख्या 3 पर उल्लेखित कागजातों को सभापतियों को रखता हूँ।
आइटम नंबर 4 माननीय श्रीमती मामनिया जी।
Meanwhile, there is a protest that are continued by the opposition MPs inside the Lok Sabha. The opposition MPs have been asking for a debate on the S.I.R, a debate that they in fact want it at a time of their choosing, and many of them in fact had carried in placards as well as black cloths and wore black armbands and shirts to in fact showcase their protest inside the house.
2024-25 का छठा प्रतिवेदन हिंदी तथा अंग्रेजी संस्करण प्रस्तुत करता हूं।
आइटम नंबर 6 माननीय श्री विजय कुमार दुबे जी।
आपकी कार्य सूची में मेरे नाम के सम्मुख तथा सूचीबद्ध ग्रामीण विकास एवं पंचायती राज संबंधी स्थायी समिति का 11वां और 12वां प्रतिवेदन प्रस्तुत करता हूं।
आइटम नंबर 7 माननीय डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह जी।
Speaker, ma'am, with your kind permission, I rise to make a statement regarding the status of implementation of recommendations contained in the 388th report of the Standing Committee on Science and Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate, Change on Demand for Grant 2025-26, change the status of implementation of recommendations contained in the 389th report of the Standing Committee on Science and Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate, change on demands for grant 2025-26 pertaining to the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology. 3. The status of implementation of the recommendations contained in the 390th report of the Standing Committee of Science, Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate change on part of grants 2025-26 pertaining to the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology. Item number 4, the status of implementation of the recommendations contained in 393rd report of the Standing Committee on Science, Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate change on demands for grants 2025-26, Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology. Thank you, Speaker, Madam.
आइटम नंबर 8 माननीय डॉक्टर मनसुख मांझी जी।
मैं प्रस्ताव करता हूँ कि खेलों के विकास और संवर्धन, खिलाड़ियों के लिए कल्याणकारी उपायों, सुशासन के बुनियादी सार्वभौमिक सिद्धांतों, ओलंपिक और खेल संचालन की नैतिकता और निष्पक्षता, ओलंपिक चार्टर, पैरालंपिक चार्टर, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सर्वोत्तम प्रथाओं और स्थापित विधि मानकों का उपबंध करने और एक एकीकृत, सामूहिक और प्रभावी रूप से खेल शिकायतों और खेल विवादों के समाधान और उसके संबंध।
जब तक ये जो वोट चोरी छिपे और इलेक्शन कमीशन को माध्यम बना के जो किया जा रहा है, इस पे जब तक रोक नहीं लगेगी तब तक हमारा आंदोलन जारी रहेगा।
पूरा आप देख लीजिए कि ये सरकार असंवैधानिक काम कर रही है, इसलिए बिहार के अंदर सरकार को अधिकार है कि आप सदन में बहस करवाइए और सदन में बहस करवा करके S.I.R को वापस लीजिए। S.I.R में जो समस्या आ रही है उस पर सरकार बहस करवाने से भाग रही है, इसलिए हम लोगों ने पूरे सदन में 5 दिन ये काला कपड़ा, क्योंकि बिहार में यह काला अध्याय चल रहा है। इसलिए हम लोग लगातार इन प्रश्नों पे आंदोलन है और आंदोलन अंतिम दम तक जारी रहेगा।
विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ। माननीय मंत्री जी विधेयक को प्रस्तावित करें।
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं विधेयक प्रस्तावित करता हूँ।
माननीय सदस्यों, नियम 377 के अधीन मामलों को सभा पटल पर रखा जाता है। सदस्य तुरंत व्यक्तिगत रूप से सभा पटल पर अपने 377 को रखें। माननीय सदस्यगण, आप सभी बहुत वरिष्ठ माननीय सदस्यगण हैं। आप सब सदन की मर्यादा, सदन की गरिमा, आप सब इतने अनुभवी सभी माननीय हैं। आप सबको पता होना चाहिए विपक्ष की भूमिका क्या है। लेकिन लगातार आज लोकसभा का तीसरा दिन आपने क्वेश्चन काल महत्वपूर्ण जैसे कई माननीय सदस्यों ने क्वेश्चन काल लगाते हैं और वो अपने उत्तर की प्रतीक्षा करते हैं, लेकिन बहुत से माननीय सदस्यों के उत्तर प्रश्न आए भी। आज ऐसे महत्वपूर्ण विषयों पर जिसमें रेलवे अन्य विषय थे, कई सदस्य उससे वंचित रहे और पूरा देश सदन की गरिमा, सदन का आचरण सब देख रहा है। ये ठीक नहीं है। मैं आप सबसे आग्रह करती हूँ कि सब आप सदन को चलने दें। सरकार आपके विषयों पर चर्चा करना चाहती है। माननीय सदस्यगण, ये आप सबका आचरण ठीक नहीं है। ये सदन की गरिमा के अनुरूप नहीं है। सदन की कार्यवाही 2 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
Has been adjourned after the protests. These are visuals coming in from the assembly in Bihar, where the RJD and Congress members are protesting by wearing black. The MLAs have been protesting against the S.I.R by wearing black in the assembly in Bihar. Earlier, there was a face-off, squaring off rather, between Nitish Kumar as well as Tejasvi Yadav. Protest continues at the Bihar assembly over the question of S.I.R. Some of them, in fact, are saying it's the attempt to steal votes is what they see the S.I.R exercise as. The ruling parties have been saying that it is an attempt to ensure that bogus voters are removed from the list. Disruptions continue with regard to S.I.R. and interestingly enough, the issue is such that the protests have become quite innovative, with black-clad protests in Bihar assembly, as well as black armbands were in fact given when it came to MPs in the parliament, and there was a protest at the Makadwar just ahead of the sessions, and now within the session itself, black cloths were in fact put on display and black flags were waved inside the well of the house, and the speaker warning, saying that on the third day of the monsoon session, it has been disruptions, and therefore there has been no kind of business that could be transacted. Both the houses of the parliament, the Rajya Sabha as well as the Lok Sabha, have been adjourned as of now. Chaos erupts in the LS over this, and the adjournments follow. Now in Bihar assembly also, a continuation of those protests. Tejasvi Yadav has in fact raised a question about the S.I.R exercise in the Bihar assembly, asking as to whether it's a necessity for such an exercise to be carried out that steals the rights of those who cannot produce the kind of documentation that has been asked to prove a person's eligibility to be on the electoral rolls. This is a question that has been asked by Tejasvi Yadav in the Bihar assembly. Meanwhile, you had Nitish Kumar also raising concerns, saying that it is an attempt to move away from the democratic the process rather that have been taking place, where the inefficiencies within the system are being removed through the S.I.R exercise. However, the war of words continued inside the Bihar assembly. Now, for more on this, I'm joined in by my colleague Brijesh. Brijesh, again an adjournment when it comes to the two houses of the parliament. S.I.R dominating the monsoon session. They say, the opposition say, that it is an attempt to steal votes, while the ruling party says that it's an attempt to ensure the facilitation of the exercise of voting and also to remove bogus voters, to streamline the process rather. But this is not going down well with the opposition. They think that this S.I.R exercise is an attempt to target them.
Well, I think, Verghese, as we've been saying since morning, one thing is very clear, that opposition has shown their unity as far as this protest against S.I.R is concerned. And they have also made it very clear that until and unless the government accede to their demand of hosting an immediate discussion on the matter of S.I.R and take back the scheme, they will not allow the House to function. One thing is emerging, becoming fast clear, that this S.I.R storm is likely to make sure that the first week of the monsoon session is going to be a complete washout. And, we are not seeing echo of S.I.R protest only in the parliament, but also, as you can see on the right side of the window, the former Chief Minister of Bihar, Rabri Devi, standing there, and by saying that vote ki chori band karo, by clearly saying that that the stealing of vote should be stopped. It's very clear that from Indian Parliament to Bihar Assembly, echo of S.I.R is having a cascading effect. There also we saw a heated exchange between Tejasvi Yadav and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar over this particular issue. There was some sort of jostling as far as the protest outside the Bihar Assembly was concerned, and internally you can see that the entire opposition was inside the well of the house, as it can be seen in the picture, waving black clothes as mark of protest, forcing a Lok Sabha Speaker to issue a stern warning to the protesting MP. So one thing is very clear, that until and unless there's some sort of a middle path approach adopted by the government, chances of smooth functioning of both houses of parliament is highly unlikely. We saw Rajya Sabha being adjourned till 2 within minutes of reconvening at around 12. And Lok Sabha, went
we have
on for
with
like
us,
5 seconds.
right, Bradesh, with us, we have now Kuntal Krishna, who is joining us from the BJP. He's a spokesperson with the BJP. Kuntal Krishna, how do you in fact see the series of S.I.R protest that has been carried by the opposition? Today, they've decided to make it a black-clad protest. They've come to the well of the House. They've raised slogans. They are ensuring that the session doesn't go until they have a date for discussion on the S.I.R as an exercise. They think they are being targeted in this exercise. But the party, the BJP and the others allies also saying that it is a process of streamlining the voter list that is taking place and nothing to do with any sort of trying to help the party in power to have some kind of advantage when the election comes. But this seems to be a very serious concern from the part of the opposition.
Verghese, actually this is height of political hypocritism. They are, at one hand, they are very much a part of this whole process. Let me tell you and your esteemed people who are watching this show, around 70,000 block level agents from opposition are very much involved in the process of S.I.R in Bihar. 70,000 block level agents who are political representatives of RJD, Congress and other opposition parties. They are very much involved in the whole process of S.I.R. What opposition is trying to do, it's simply Gunism. This is not the way a protest has to be done. At one hand, you are very much being part of that. If there is any problem on the ground, you are raising the issue and issues are being scrutinized then and there. So what is your problem? You do not want whole of the electoral roll to be sanitized? You do not want actual electoral roll to be published? Or you want to protect those people who by any means obtained fraudulent epic cards? What is your problem? If there is any problem on the ground, Election Commission and whole of the machinery is there to help every political party. Opposition has got, let me reiterate it, opposition has got 70,000 booth level agents who are political workers involved in the whole process. At every booth there is a proper scrutiny. And they went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court said that this process will continue. So this process is continuing. Now, for our democracy, for betterment of our democratic process, everyone should cooperate in this process. But unnecessary opposition is trying to make it an issue because they are targeting their vote bank. And now I suspect that if there is any epic, if there is any so-called voter who is found to be without any document, I think it is Congress and RJD who got them fake IDs. And simply to shield their misdeed, they are creating such a ruckus everywhere in Bihar Vidhan Sabha, in Parliament, everywhere. But at the ground where S.I.R is going on, they are getting involved in the process. Yes, Varghese.
Well, Kuntal Krishna, interestingly, you said that, it is a hypocrisy that is there. But the question also being asked over here is that why this exercise just months before an election process? And also, some of the parties who are in power in their respective states also fear that this S.I.R process could happen to their states also just ahead of their elections. Of course, Biharis will be going to polls in the coming months. And then in 2026, you have other states that are also going to polls. So they suspect this S.I.R activity would be carried out there as well. But why now is the question. Timing is what they're asking.
Varghese. S.I.R process is conducted by Election Commission, which is a constitutional body. To stop this process, whole of the opposition in Bengal, there is no S.I.R, but TMC went to be a party in the court, Supreme Court. When they approached Supreme Court and Supreme Court ordered that this process will continue, they have to believe in constitutional institutions. It has become a fashion that opposition, every time they are blaming constitutional institutions. By doing this, they are weakening our constitutional institutions. This is a disgrace to the constitutional, this is a disgrace to the democracy which our opposition is putting on. They, at one hand, Rahul Gandhi and whole of the opposition is carrying the holy book of constitution in your hand. And at the other hand, simultaneously, they are not respecting constitutional institutions. See, when they went to Supreme Court and Supreme Court gave a verdict, we are duty bound to respect that verdict. It is not BJP, it is not any other political party who is conducting this S.I.R.
Right.
It is Election Commission who is conducting it.
Right. Stay with us, Kuntal Krishna. We also have Anwar Pasha, who's from RJD spokesperson, who's joining us. Anwar Pasha, you have, or probably you've heard Kuntal Krishna saying that on the ground, when at the block level, there is participation in the S.I.R process from the opposition parties. Why is it being opposed in the assembly and in the parliament when there is cooperation on the same process that is being considered quite critically by the opposition? Why then go with the process on the ground but oppose it in the assembly as well as in the parliament? Anwar Pasha, you can hear me?
Yeah.
So the question that I was asking you is that
I have heard your question.
Yeah.
And we are hesitating. Everybody knows about it. This is our constitutional right. We are trying to save the right of the people of Bihar. BJP, because they are not going to win the next election, they are desperate and trying to stop people from exercising their democratic rights, that is voters' right. So we are agitated because a large number of people in Bihar are going to be deprived of their voting rights, and that will not allow at all. The way this S.I.R is being conducted, everybody knows it, that around 50% people, they do not have their any documents that is being demanded by them, by the Election Commission from them. So a large number of people will not be there in the voters list. So that's why we are agitating, and we have to oppose it, be it assembly, be it parliament, be it on the road. Everywhere we'll oppose it, because this is the question of the saving the voting rights of Bihar. The way this government, NDA government in the center as well in Bihar, they are treating the people of Bihar, that is not acceptable to us at all. So we'll continue our agitation, and unless this injustice is not withdrawn, this S.I.R is not withdrawn, we'll fight. We'll fight in the assembly. We'll fight on the road as well. So this is our stand is quite clear. As far as the Supreme Court is concerned, Supreme Court said that the judges said that they cannot produce these documents. So that's why the Supreme Court just said that the final decision will be taken on 28th. But still this S.I.R is continuing, and the way it is continuing, the way BLOs are filling up the forms, and the way they are conducting it, the way the BJP people are involved in this entire process. So this is creating a lot of, I think, confusing the people in the mind of people, and they are themselves, the BLOs are filling the forms without consulting the voters. Right. You know what will happen? Right. What will happen in the scrutiny process? A large number of people are going to be out of the voter list.